Hi everyone, it's Jane again, the great Jane Parker. If you saw my last YouTube video, you'll know that I inherited a ton, I mean literally it felt like a ton, that box of anime magazines. And I wanted to start going through the process of maybe looking at them together. Hope it'll be kind of fun, chill content. And I said this to people who watched my last video, is the ultimate honor if you have lunch or dinner or breakfast and you watch a video like this. So if you watch mine, that is the greatest thing ever. This is coverless, unfortunately, but there's still cool stuff in here. This is Animage. Mike mentioned Animage as one of his favorites when we went through these together. Instead of the cover, we get the character popularity poll, which is still a mainstay of things today. So Nasuka in first, Nadia, Goku, Ryo Saiba, I think is his last name. This is the guy from City Hunter. I'm not sure who this is. Vegeta's down there. Ranma. I'm not sure who this is. Kiki. And I noticed just recently, Cecily Fairchild is up there, which is kind of cool. And Noi Izumi from Pat Labor. I don't know what she's doing all the way down there. That's one of my favorite characters, so that's really, uh, she should be higher. On the other side, there is a fold-out poster. So you would have to tear out the character poll, which sucks, and I don't know what this is. If you do, please tell me. I feel so embarrassed. This is clearly some kind of like mecha series, and I don't know what it is. So, alright, this is June 1991. You'll see some very 1991 things in here. Now, I don't speak Japanese. I can't read Japanese. So, what I can tell you about what's in here is somewhat limited. But there were some sections I thought were pretty noteworthy. There's some cool stuff in here. This down here is, if I can, a little better view of it for you. That's Anne of Green Gables down there. I think that was a series from the 70s. Maybe they did the 90s version or something, and they're talking about it, but I'm really not sure. This might just be a general like anime history. Like, yeah, here's 81 to 83, 84. Although what the particular subject might be, it might be a studio, and I'm just completely dumb. Advertisement, Gundam 0083. More stuff, I'm not sure what it is. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit here. Yeah, not super sure what this one is. This character looks kind of familiar, but there's a lot of characters that, you know, that could be a couple people, I think, with all reason. Here's a Pat Labor bit. This must be one particular episode. Maybe it's part of the OVA. Yeah, OVA right there. I haven't seen that in a long time. I remember the one I remember most vividly is the TV show, and you know it has that storyline that spins off in the OVA, and that's kind of a bummer. But let's get a little more cheesecake action for you guys. I love Pat Labor. That looks like just general OVA stuff. Sort of odd. Now there's some inserts in here too. They're not all gone like the cover. And I don't know what this is. This is some sort of insert for like bridal stuff. I'm not sure why it's an insert. I'm sure somebody does, and I'm just a little new at this. But it's just sort of like wedding stuff and like characters who got married. There's Lam, there's Goku. And like why it's this little extra section. And yeah, not sure who this is. Very beautiful. But yeah, this is one of those things that sticks out. Anytime I see Lum, I sort of go like, woo, wooga. Alright, these are all the anime releases. It's funny, if you look at like the counterpart of these in like Animerica or something, they're so much shorter. This really caught my eye too, this Gunbuster page. This maybe is a model kit or maybe it's custom. I don't really know for sure. I assume this is some sort of like resin kit you could buy. Not 1000%. Some sort of Nadia text story. Is great. Whether this is a recap or some kind of original story, your guess is as good as mine. Voice actress interview. Oh, here we go. Now there's another little insert in here. I'll try to hold that up. Not, again, just not sure what this is. But it's kind of neat to have it in there. And again, another little like flyer with a manga in it. Just kind of neat. Another page. This one's a little sticky, so we'll be careful. I'm not sure who this is, but I like him. Splashy ad page. So here's Pirates of Dark Water. Fox Kids Club recently did a very, very long special on Pirates of Dark Water. All their videos are special, but that has some Japanese animation in it. So definitely sort of related and of interest. And so I guess this came out in Japan because they've got some mentions of things you can sell or you can buy and rent. So that really makes me wonder, like, is there like an audience for it over there that sort of an otaku thing over there? This is one of the Majin movies, I think. I'm sure someone will correct me. Oh, Jane, you don't know anything. Duty head. Alright, so let's go to the end here that really interested me personally, which I just thought was funny. And you may have seen it on the table of contents. There's like a little Born in the USA section. So you can see some stuff here. There's Ninja Turtles, Gumby. This is one of the Rescuer movies. I think it's The Rescuers Down Under. No idea what this is. If you know, tell me. But here we go. So there's some of American stuff. Again, like Jetsons movie. Another movie that I'm pretty sure has Japanese animation in it. Maybe. Maybe not. But, you know, one of the character designers at Hanna-Barbera, his name escapes me right now, but he was sort of a Japanese artist. Little Mermaid, Rescuers Down Under. I think that was the movie in 91. I might be wrong, but Pirates of Dark Water gets another mention down here. We'll get ahead. Now, the Tiny Toons splash page is just so cute. I love the character designs in Tiny Toons. I'm not that big on all the like Steven Spielberg shows from the time, but I love the Tiny Toons characters. I'm still trying to get a little plushie of Buster Bunny because he's just so cute. And then this is what really caught my eye: The Simpsons, June 1991, and it's got like all the like graining, like early art in here. And you know, here's your USA report. My buddy told me this says something about like a new kind of American family sitcom, which is kind of funny. But I love seeing just all this stuff. And you probably noticed in the corner, yeah, there's a little piece about Do the Bartman. I would love to know what that says exactly, or what somebody would have thought of that. I've had a real fascination with Do the Bartman because it's just so freaking weird that happened. You know, you say like it's a accident, but I mean it's just very strange. And you can see like Matt Groening and some of the guys down here. And there's this great little splash page with Mr. Spielberg, Tiny Toons, and Little Bart. So, really cool issue of Animage. I have so much more, including an older one from 1987. So if we want to look at that, we will. It's definitely on my list, but let's pull that to the side. And we'll bring out English magazine. This is Mecha Press. And if you saw that video, you know I just like guffawed. Oops, left the insert out of Animage. I'll have to put that back. But Mecha Press, this is a sister publication of Protoculture Addicts. Now, Protoculture Addicts, really, really important magazine in the history of American otaku culture. But I'd never heard of Mecha Press until Mike showed me, and I saw the V Gundam on the cover. I was like, oh, hell yeah. And, you know, I just totally gasped if you see the video. So in this magazine in particular, some anime stuff, some figure stuff, lots of tabletop role-playing. That's what I thought was really interesting about it. There's a little report up here about a Gundam 3D video game for the upcoming PlayStation. I want to say this one was November 94 or something to that effect. I had trouble finding it earlier. It's somewhere. But yeah, sort of a Victory Gundam focused issue early on. Mark Simmons, still a part of the mecha community as I recall. But just going over, this is the entire history of like Universal Century. Including Crossbone Gundam gets a mention, which I've never been that sure how canon that is to like the animated series, or if that kind of they don't totally consider that kind of thing all the time. More mecha. This is what I like to see. This is what I'm talking about. This is like the line art and stuff. This is what I really like to see. I'm a really big fan of the V Gundam personally, and you can look at these screenshots. I mean, they are. If I could zoom in for you, I would, but they are just really. They don't look too bad. I guess they were taped off TV or like a pretty decent generation tape. Not really super sure how they would have gotten these at the time. But there's Uso, Shakti, and Miss Marbet. Romanized here as Finger Hut, and Uso's last name is Ebbing, which is not wrong or anything, really if you listen, but it's just a different sort of thing. Really like the sort of simpler mobile suits that you see in Victory Gundam. I mean, there's some weird ones too, but it kind of is what it is. There's flashier, strange ones, but just the general like mobile suits like these are pretty cool. They're a little strange. Chronicle Asher, here presented as Chronicle Asha. I'm always amused by that, just what they came up with before sort of official and generally agreed upon romanizations. I just wanted to point out here the Shokyu, the little yellow thing that Uso pilots at the start of Victory Gundam. I love that thing. I just sort of have a weakness for yellow things, I guess, but we'll move on here. So yeah, after this, it's a lot of model building and tabletop gaming, which I like, but it's not totally my wheelhouse. These miniatures are freaking cool, though. These are for something called like the Jovian series, if I recall. I'm sure you're probably reading the text and be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But these are gorgeous. They kind of remind me of like the Power Dolls PC 98 game. If you've ever seen it, they have really wide hips and thick thighs. Don't take that out of context. Over here, just some Macross 2 stuff. The more I've read of these old magazines, the more it's interesting to me that like Macross 2 has this really significant presence. Like they released it in theaters, they did this and that. There's all these role-playing books for Macross 2. Just interesting kind of. I don't want to call it brand synergy, but it's just really interesting how that got kind of pushed together. Armor Trooper Votoms, great classic series. I've never seen the whole thing, but these are episode summaries. In between them, tabletop game Heavy Gear Fighter. Never ever heard of this. It is not super clear. This is like a how to play, I think, but it was very not clear to me trying to read this. But the episode summary is pretty nice for back in the day. I mean, you just had no idea. And this is something that really stuck out to me. Speed Racer model kits. How cool is that? And it seems a little strange maybe now for it to be in a mecha magazine, but it's all kind of the same thing. Ships and robots and cars, and it's just all kind of mecha. I think it still is that way for a lot of people. This was something I appreciated, especially after reading the modelers magazines, which I'll have to pull out for you at some point. But this is a series on the basics. Like these are all the different kind of paints. Now I've never been a model painter. I just haven't. I was strictly gunpla, snap together, file, and then you're good. But I'm very glad somebody took the opportunity to do it like this because it's very helpful. And if you don't know, you don't know. I mean, there's different kinds of brushes, there's different kinds of finishes, varnishes, stuff like that. This is a funny little section on sort of making your own tabletop setting. You'll need bad guys, you'll need stuff like that. Really, really fun stuff. Yep, here's the Jovian Chronicles again, but like SD form, which is pretty cute. I actually like a lot of these, the way they look. Comic ad. More like tabletop, and then you're pretty much at the end at that point. So, really, very, just a little different look at, see, there's the game again. Really different kind of look at, the mecha culture. It's a very small window. I'd like to get more of these, and they're around. So maybe I'll go for more. I don't know about a complete run or anything, but sort of is what it is. And last thing I'm going to show you today This came in at my local comic shop, sort of by accident. I had asked for number 4 and number 5, but this series is just so cute. I don't know if Marvel's gonna get me in trouble or anything, but the interior art here, this is Jeff the Landshark, the current series. This is still coming out, but what wonderful, wonderful artwork by Toki Tokoro. I mean, Rouge. Wow. Sorry, I always have Sonic on the mind. I should have brought out Sonic as well, but that might be some spoilers for the current issue. But Gambit is here, looking fine AF. Um, Jeff gets transported to Wolverine, chasing Shadow Jeff. This is my first issue of this, so I don't know exactly what's going on, but they kind of recap it all with Rogue and Gambit. And look how adorable Psylocke is. I mean, this is just so cute. And then Jeff gets the damn Wolverine like psychic claw. This is so like Marvel coded, like people just getting other people's powers. And I mean, it's Jeff. It's supposed to be cute. They're really pushing this character a lot after Marvel Rivals. I had no idea who he was, and I'm not really big into Marvel Rivals, but um, hey, whatever excuse to get like cute art like this in a Marvel comic, I'm totally down for it. I'll let you read the rest because I think this came out this week or last week. So we'll leave it be there for now. Alright, so Tasmania Kid says, see you later. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment, it helps the video perform. I really want to see these videos get in front of more of the comics community. So if we can do that, that would be super great. Alright, transform and roll out.